has sparked widespread debate. Signed into law as the Access to Higher Education Act 2023 by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in June 20 for students and the economy.
It should be sustained, but government should sit down and work out the modalities by which the fund will be released to those who are actually indigent. One, then secondly, it should be worked out in such a way that those who benefited from it are made to pay back the loan, such that other students or other citizens who are indigent and who actually want to go to school could also benefit from it.
Supporters of the suspension argue it allows time to address the program's sustainability, while critics warn it could exacerbate financial barriers, forcing students to delay or abandon their studies.
We have to ask ourselves, is there a student loan? So you can't be telling us you are closing down or shutting down something that does not exist. Something that the purpose of you being, put it into existence has not been touched. I've not heard anybody around, any student around, and I believe I've been around for a while, in order to know that some people have been, beneficial of this opportunity. The question is there, and who are the people?
The student and education advocate fear the suspension will disproportionately affect low-income students who depend on financial aid to access higher education.
If these students that are benefited, if they are not able to secure employment at the end of their education, their studies, I think that's one of the major reasons why they are defaulting in paying back. But if there is a way that they can secure employment, or there's a kind of agreement that maybe their sureties can assist them in paying off the loan, that we have to reduce defaulting.
Having the chance of getting loans from the government is a big trying to build your faith, build your courage in having faith in government again. But if you suspend everything, it's going to affect us in every way.
Some stakeholders suggest exploring alternative funding options, such as scholarships or grants, to bridge the gap. As debates continue, there is a growing call for a comprehensive review of education funding to ensure affordable and quality education for all Nigerians. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
Meanwhile, the managing director of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, has debunked reports of alleged fund diversion within the student loan scheme, insisting that the agency has operated within the bounds of the law and in full transparency. The agency's leadership was summoned by the House of Representatives Committee overseeing NEL Fund to address widespread concerns circulating on social media and in some print publications regarding alleged irregularities in the administration and disbursement of student loans. Speaking at the hearing, the chairman of the committee, Rep. Ifeoluwa Ehindaro, stated that the hearing became necessary in light of the volume of report and allegations, particularly those suggesting possible mismanagement or diversion of student loan funds by certain federal institutions and NEL Fund itself. In response, the NEL Fund Managing Director expressed gratitude for the opportunity to clarify the agency's position, emphasizing that the concerns raised were taken seriously given the scheme's importance to students, the National Assembly, and the administration. He explained that although the ICPC maintained concerns about institutional irregularities in higher institutions, their earlier claim of fund diversion by NEL Fund was wholly unfounded and officially withdrawn. The federal government says Nigeria has so far lost more than 1.3 billion naira to the outbreak of tuta absoluta, commonly known as the tomato leaf minor or tomato Ebola in 3 states. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, said these are the ongoing 4-day capacity building workshop for financial institutions in Abuja. The workshop is organized by Hurricane Nigeria in collaboration with the Nigeria Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending PLC. Kyari said the outbreak had consequently led to the search of a 50-kilogram basket of tomatoes from 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira and approximately 30,000 naira, thereby exacerbating food inflation and steering household budget. According to him, the state where the losses were recorded include Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna. He explained that tomato Ebola had underscored the fragility of the country's horticultural systems, adding that the invasive pest could decimate tomato crops within 48 hours, leading to catastrophic yield losses. The Senate has begun a clause-by-clause consideration of 4 key tax reform bills submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa. Presenting the report, Musa outlined that the major recommendations of the committee, while the chairman of the Special Committee on Tax Reform, Senator Yahya Abdullahi, also addressed the chamber. Following their submissions, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, signaled the upper chamber's readiness to proceed with the legislative process. However, some of the clauses quickly became a subject of discontent when the Senate dissolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider each clause. Clause 22 drew immediate attention. The clause proposed that 3% of the total revenue collected by the service, which shall be appropriated by the NAS subject to the review of the percentage from time to time, depending on the economic situation or as the economic situation required. Senator Aliyu Wadada, however, raised concerns, proposing an amendment to reduce the figure to 2%, citing the significant size of revenues involved, which is said was more than the combined budget of 16 states. He argued that such large sums required cautious handling, especially as they include both oil and non-oil revenue. Clause 39 also sparked debate as Senator Adams Oshomole, supported by Senator Ibrahim Dankwambo, warned against excessive legislative involvement in operational financial approvals. The news at 8 continues after this break. To stay with us.
Whatever you need, whatever you love.
What makes every order special?
Joy to show, you know they give you so much.
The fact that it births new beginnings. Inspiring us to express every shade of who we are.
Whatever you need.
It's the joy each order brings. We know this, and that's why for whatever life's needs you may have, Jumia is here for you. Download the Jumia app now. Jumia, joy delivered.
Now for tete they don't put spices inside food because of the aroma and better way they do for body. But una need plenty space to keep all your spices if you want to enjoy the better inside there. Now, Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube don't land with all your rich spices where you love inside one cube. Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube. Spice mix exactly the way you like them. They available for seasoning cube. Try them today.
The news at 8 continues. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to provide free screening and subsidized treatment for Nigerians suffering from all stages of cancer. The resolution followed the consideration and adoption of a motion during plenary sponsored by Aderemi Oseni. While presenting the motion, the lawmaker described cancer as a major public health challenge in Nigeria, with many patients unable to afford treatment due to the high cost. He said the surge of cancer is fast spreading among Nigerians, with reports revealing that in 2020, about 125,000 people were diagnosed. The most common types are breast, prostate, and cervical cancer. Oseni expressed concern over the prohibitive cost of cancer treatment, which can range from tens of millions of naira to hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, depending on the type and stage of cancer, treatment method, location, and individual health history. In its resolution, presided over by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, the House mandated its Committee on Healthcare Services to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, alongside other relevant agencies, to establish a mechanism for the federal government to provide subsidies for cancer treatment and related drugs. The federal government has restated its commitment to achieving universal health coverage by placing a strong focus on the quality training of healthcare professionals across the country. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, gave the assurance during the commissioning of the newly constructed library and the ICT block at the Federal University of Allied Health Sciences, Enugu. Dr. Salako noted that President Bola Tinubu has made the health of Nigerians a top priority, with a vision to build a robust healthcare workforce capable of serving both local and international needs. The minister also inspected hospital equipment produced by the university's biomedical engineering students, expressed satisfaction with the quality of their work, describing the devices as useful and reliable, even from his experience in private medical practice. He urged lecturers at the institution to take the training of health professionals seriously, emphasizing the government's commitment to supporting FUSIT in transforming its medical center, particularly with the adoption of electronic medical records. Salako also pledged federal support for all ongoing projects at the university and announced plans to elevate the biomedical engineering department to produce medical equipment that meets international standards. Here in Ogun State, the State House of Assembly, through its Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, continued its oversight function with a visit to Abeokuta South Local Government Council to assess the level of performance and compliance to due process in project implementation at the grassroots level. Kolawole Osho reported that Chairman Honorable Akingbade was accompanied by other members of the Committee on the Oversight Exercise. Details of his report are presented in this package.
Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, led by Honorable Jemili Akingbade, in company of other members, continue its oversight function with a visit to Abeokuta South Local Government Council, with an admonition to the council chairman to follow the relevant laws and edicts guarding the operations, stressing the need for transparency and compliance with proper procedures in projects execution. Honorable Akingbade noted that the visit was aimed at evaluating the council's performance in the implementation of the 2024 budget and to ensure its alignment with the developmental priorities of the current administration in the state. Honorable Akingbade, together with other members of the committee, inspected various projects implemented by the Local Government Council. Responding, the chairman of the local government, Afiz Balogun, appreciated the House Committee for the visit, describing it as a step towards ensuring accountability and grassroots development.
Still ahead, NEMA alerts governors of areas likely to be affected by flooding as rainfall begins. More news and report after the break. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Ludaisi Elemide, has called on the Nigeria Police to deploy personnel to border communities in Odeda local government area near Oyo State to protect the residents from illegal invasion. Speaker Elemide advocating for a state boundary commission, highlighted recurring security challenges faced by border communities across Ogun State. The call came during a stakeholders meeting at the Assembly Complex in Kemoson, Abeokuta, attended by key officials, including Alhaja Khadija Ahmed, representing the State Boundary Committee, chaired by Deputy Governor Engineer Noemot Salako Oyedele, CSP Stephen Uja, representing the Nigeria Police, Barrister James Mafe, Director of Legislative Drafting, Minister of Justice, Mr. Oladele Ewulo, Acting Surveyor General, representatives from Odeda local government and affected communities. And Lamide urged the police to intensify efforts to safeguard residents, noting past discussions with Oyo State Deputy Speaker to address similar issues. He commended Governor Dapo Abiodun and the Boundary Committee for their work in resolving boundary dispute. The Speaker assured affected communities that the government is addressing the issue and encouraged residents to reclaim and carry on with their lawful activities. The Ogun State government continues to prioritize peace and security along its borders. In its avowed commitment to rid the country of terrorism and banditry, Nigerian troops have neutralized no fewer than 13,543 terrorists within the last 2 years. This was disclosed by the Defense Minister, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, during the ministerial press briefing being hosted by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. While revealing the achievement of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the minister said between May 2023 and May 2025, a total of 17,469 suspects were also arrested. He added that while 9,821 hostages were rescued, 124,408 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists surrendered. Abubakar further announced the recovery of 11,118 weapons and 255,596 assorted ammunition. He said the armed forces had recorded tremendous success, including liberating several areas hitherto under the control of terrorists, as well as restoring sanity on several highways. The minister, while disputing claims that the terrorists had more sophisticated arms, declared that it is not true. They have much more sophisticated weapons. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, said it has alerted the state governors of the areas likely to be affected by flooding as rainfall begins. NEMA advised state and local government to commence clearing blocked drainage systems to prevent overflow, construct temporary flood barriers to protect homes and infrastructure, and evacuate residents from flood-prone areas to safer grounds. It also said demolition of structures along waterways in the Federal Capital Territory has begun to prevent loss of lives and properties. The agency said the advisory and early warning messages to governors and other relevant authorities are sequel to the seasonal climate prediction released earlier in the year by the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and the annual flood outlook released by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency. The Director General of NEMA, Zubaida Umar, disclosed this in Abuja during the launch of the 2025 Climate-Related Disaster Preparedness and Mitigation Strategy document. She said the document highlights climate-related risk, implications, preparedness, mitigative action, and periods of action during the year. Clerics from faith-based organizations have urged Christians, Muslims, and traditional believers to organize sessions where individuals from diverse religious backgrounds can discuss their beliefs and practices. They were also encouraged to arrange festivals and events that celebrate the diverse cultures and religions within their communities, and to collaborate on projects that promote shared values such as kindness and fairness to foster peaceful cohabitation. Nkem Ago explores opinions on enhancing interreligious relations, Our report.
Nigeria is a secular state where Islam, Christianity, and traditional African religions are freely practiced. Individuals are not coerced, but are free to choose their path of worship. At times, Islam and Christianity are perceived as dominant forces, creating tensions among adherents that can lead to confrontations. Religious beliefs and values are integral to the daily lives of many families and communities across the country, guiding followers towards exemplary services. Enhancing interreligious relations involves fostering understanding, respect, and cooperation among people of different faiths through various approaches. This includes promoting interfaith dialogue, practicing in joint community projects, and educating individuals about religious diversity, building strong social connections, addressing socio-economic inequalities, and reinforcing legal frameworks are also vital for creating a more inclusive and harmonious society.
All of us who descended from one true God, whether from the descendants of Abraham, Ishmael, the Jews, Christians, from Jesus Christ after his resurrection, the early Christians, whether from whichever, come together to discuss the progress of the faith and also ultimately of the kingdom of God.
When we love ourselves, calling God, the Almighty Allah will also answer our prayer by doing well, because the good behaviors and characters the Almighty Allah cherishes most.
Respondents further advised that the three most prominent religions practiced in Nigeria should continue to coexist harmoniously.
What Allah wills us to do is to unite and to create peace, because where there is no peace, there will be no progress.
Bá ṣe tó pọ̀ láàrin ẹlẹ́sìn àbáláyé àti ẹlẹ́sìn mùsùlùmí àti ẹlẹ́sìn ìgbàgbọ́ kò ju wípé ká jọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa lọ. Torí nǹkan tá a dé bá lọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ní wípé a gbọ́dọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọlàkejì wa.
We must love each other as God has taught us in our different religions.
Undoubtedly, the world would embrace peace if adherents of various religions demonstrated a high level of tolerance and learned to accommodate differing perspectives from other religious groups. Nkem Agu, Ogtv News.
Okpeyemi Adewumi is standing by for business news after this break.
Good to have you join us on the business segment of the news. The Nigerian government says it has successfully powered 24 federal tertiary institutions using solar energy infrastructure. The initiative is part of the Energizing Education project under President Bola Tinubu's administration. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, made the announcement on Wednesday during the collaboration agreement signing ceremony in Abuja, where 8 additional universities were confirmed to be joining the 4th phase of the EEP. Nigeria will participate for the first time in the London Design Biennial in June 2025, marking a significant milestone for the country's creative industry and the global stage. The official national pavilion titled Hopes and Impediments is supported by the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy. According to a statement, it represents Nigeria's first government-backed project at a prestigious international design event. The pavilion explores themes of identity, heritage and future design possibility from a uniquely Nigerian perspective. Moving on, data on global air cargo markets has revealed that African continents recorded the lowest cargo demand in March 2025 with a 13.4% year-on-year decrease in demand. The International Air Transport Association data released for March 2025 indicated that Nigerian airlines as well as those on the African continent recorded low cargo during the review month. Figures from IATA, however, showed that capacity in the region increased by 10.5% year-on-year globally. Total demand measured in cargo tons kilometer increased by 4.4% compared to March 2024 level, 5.5% for international operations. The Nigerian Data Protection Commission has officially unveiled the Data Protection Virtual Academy, a pioneering initiative designed to promote digital security across both the public and private sector. The launch took place during the opening ceremony of the 8th edition of the Network of Data Protection Authorities Conference and Annual General Meeting in Abuja. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, presided over the launch, describing the academy as a first global. He explained that the academy aims to provide virtual training on data protection and privacy, targeting civil servants, private sector employees, and young job seekers. Finally, ExxonMobil has confirmed plans to invest $1.5 billion in Nigeria's deepwater exploration and development for the next 2 years. The planned investment, which will be executed between second quarter 2025 and 2027, will focus primarily on revitalizing production at the Usan deepwater oil field. The oil major also indicated that a final investment decision is expected late third quarter of 2025, pending the final approval of the field development plan along with internal and partner funding approvals. The announcement was made by ExxonMobil Managing Director in Nigeria, Mr. Shane Harris, in a post on the NUPRC's official X handle on Wednesday. ExxonMobil also revealed intention to accelerate development activities in other key deepwater assets. It said these developments are part of a broader strategy to strengthen its operational footprint in Nigeria and support the country's drive for increased production. And that's how far we can go on the business segment of the news. Many thanks for watching. We now go back to Adebola for the rest of the bulletin. Do stay with us.
We know that sometimes seeing is believing, and that you prefer to see what you're buying before you pay. If this is you, you can pick up any of your items at a Jumia pickup station near you and then pay. Download the Jumia app today. Jumia, joy delivered.
Thank you, Okweyemi. Foreign news is next. Mali's junta has suspended political parties' activities until further notice for reasons for public order as the opposition protest against the military government ramped up crackdown on dissent. Meanwhile, cardinals from across the world have gathered in Sistine Chapel, where the election of the new pope will take place. Let's join testimony for details.
This junta on Wednesday suspended political parties' activities until